Good morning, everyone. It's Pastor Kirk, and it's time for another edition of Monday Morning Encouragement. You know, you've heard it a lot over the last few months, people saying it's important to shop local. And that's what I want to talk to you about today. You see, over the last few months of quarantine, the economy has been hurting, and a lot of us have received things like stimulus checks and other forms of financial aid to help us get by. With the name stimulus, it implies that we're going to use that money to help stimulate the economy. And people tell us to use that money to help support local businesses. And I think that's a great idea. See, a pandemic is a worldwide problem. That's what the word pandemic means, worldwide. And with worldwide problems, we often feel like there's not much that we can do. I mean, after all, I'm just one person. It's why a lot of people don't vote. They think that they can't really make a difference. And so you might feel like there's not anything that you can do to help in this situation that we're in. Just kind of do the best you can to ride it out. But many people, and rightly so, have said there are some things that we can do to help each other during this time. And one of those things that we can do is shop local. Now, why would we do that? Well, when we shop local, we support our local economy. We support our local communities. And when you support your community, you're actually kind of indirectly supporting yourself, right? Because if your local economy and communities as well then, your local businesses do well, your local schools do well, housing is better, there's more jobs, there's less drug use, which means there's less crime. It's kind of like this domino effect that takes place. And the people that you're helping, what's even cooler about this, are people that you know. It's people that you see driving down the street when you're on your way to work or on your way to school. Maybe they're people that you went to school with. They're people whose faces you recognize in the grocery aisles of the stores that you shop in. And you see, this idea is actually kind of scriptural too. In Jeremiah chapter 29, verse 7, it says, "Seek the good of the city in which you dwell, for in its welfare you will find your own." And then it continues, "Pray for your community, for if it prospers, then you prosper." If your local community does well, then so do you. See, I can have all kinds of opinions, right, of what to do on a state level, on a national level, across the globe, right? And it can be on any sort of number of issues, but a lot of that is kind of wasting resources and really wasting my breath. But you know where I can really make a difference? Locally. See, our world has gotten so small with the technology that we have and with social media. Like, I can go on Twitter right now and I can call my senator a dummy. I can criticize the government of China or Russia. And I can do that right now, but is that a good use of my time and my resources? And really, who's that helping? Maybe, just maybe, it's time to make my world a little bigger again. So that instead of trying to show everybody what I think is right or wrong about these pandemic type issues, I can shop and invest locally. Instead of trying to argue with some guy across the globe about some opinion that I have on Facebook, maybe I need to introduce myself to my neighbor and show them that I care for them and show them that they can trust me. And so that's where I'm going to start. And that is where many of us can make a difference in looking after their welfare, which I actually can have an impact on. And when I do that, I am, as Jeremiah says, I'm actually investing in my own good, my own welfare. Invest in your community. Shop local. Worship local. Love local. But you see, there's a spiritual component to this as well, isn't there? If I want to have an impactful faith life and really have an impact on the world, maybe I need to shop locally and first let my faith have an impact on my own life. This is as local as it gets, right? And that's not as easy as it sounds. But it's where we all have to start. It's an investment. See, I can get all angry and opinionated about things and issues that are going on around the world that concern my faith and what I believe. But first, I need to make sure that in my own life, I'm in the Word, I'm in prayer, I'm in worship, I'm hearing and trusting the Lord's investment that He made in me, giving His Son to die for me, and then honoring that investment and all that I say and what I do for my neighbor. And then from my heart, which is very local, I move to the next most local thing, which is my home. Being a loving spouse, being a loving brother or sister or son or daughter. Let my faith actually impact my parenting in my home, making sure I'm raising kids who know Jesus and investing in their faith. Starting from your heart, then into your home, and then into your local community. That means seeking to find those who are in need in your own backyard, your local church, your local food bank, your local businesses. Can you imagine what a group of neighborhoods together who show the love of Christ and invest in their faith and invest in their neighbor would look like, what it would be like? It would be like we were one big family where no one was in need of anything. Kind of like the church way back in Acts chapter 2, devoted to fellowship, living life together, meeting together and breaking bread, and with glad and sincere hearts providing for each other's needs and praising God the whole time. That's what it means to shop local. And it's investment financially, it's an investment spiritually that allows you to make a real impact by loving your neighbor, the people that God put in your life, starting here in your heart and going out there. So invest in your own community. Invest in your eternity. Shop local and make a difference.